Today is Sunday, 14th of May 2023. So, another question and answers video on Peugeot. So, before I continue, please note that I've created a second channel for content that has to do with the non-Peugeot, that has nothing to do with vehicles or as in just other topics that I discuss on that channel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link of that channel on this video description, and also put it on the comment section, so that if you're interested, the topic I discussed, there are some videos here that are similar to some of the topics I intend to be talking about on that channel. So if you find such topics interesting, then you can join on that channel. That's you subscribe and click notification, so that as I'm posting, you'll be getting notification. You look at the subject. If it's okay, you watch. If it's not, then you scroll through. Okay, so let's look at this. This is from Uma Mutala. He said, "Hi, please can you recommend a course in Nigeria or material or any tutorial that will help me learn Peugeot electricals better? Thank you." Mr. Uma, I think when it comes to Peugeot and you are in Nigeria, I think the best thing will be to go and learn. Okay, I won't say it's the best anyway, because we all have our capabilities. Some can learn on their own, while some you have to go to physical training at training center. So I know a few years ago, PAN had this program they were doing, training interested Nigerians on Peugeot systems, mechanically, electrically, or name it, on modern distance. So I think it was a year or 2 year program. I've forgotten. I remember that time I had the flyer. I think I shared it as well. So I don't know if now it's no longer PAN. A different company has absorbed the PAN. So I don't know if they still continue with that program. So I would have recommended you go there. Of course, I think when you go, you can now select whether you want to do electrical or mechanical. I can't actually confirm how the training is done, but I know you probably, depending on area you are good at, you focus on that. But in this case, you are interested in electrical. So, practically, you can be able to learn it very well. Because one thing about practical training is, as you are working, cars will be coming, you'll be using it to train you. Then, used to theory and the rest. But one thing about theory, like reading books and some of these things, when it comes to practical, you'll be meeting challenges. You realize that some of those theory won't really go far. It won't help you go far. You have to, use your brain as you are meeting challenges, and you figure things out. One thing theory does is to help you to understand the system first. For example, electrical, to help you to understand that system, what to do, how to test some electrical components when they are bad, to know if they're actually bad off the vehicle or on the vehicle. And there are some challenges you will meet that they won't even probably won't learn even at the training program. You won't be taught that particular issue, how to sort it out. Issues, there are different kinds of issues. So while you can also learn on your own, there are so many things. So in my own case, of course, I didn't go to that training. It can acquire any kind of skill without going through formal training, or get a certificate on that. So in my own case, it was just more like a passion. Yeah, the interest was there, and then the passion. That's Okay, I know. I don't see. It's about. I think it's talent. It's just not just. It's just the talent because it started all the way even as a kid. People who know me when I was a kid, they will tell you. I was just even as small as I was. Always looking for any car to work on, mechanically and otherwise. So that's in that case, I didn't need to go into any training, formal physical training to learn some of these things. I was learning them myself, and as if everything was planned. I had the vehicles were there for me to learn those things on them. Not just my family car, that's my parents' vehicle, even friends, other extended family. They see that I have this drive, and sometimes they say, okay, I have this problem with my car. What do you think? I'll just jump on the car before I know it, it's done. So that's the thing. It's just who I am. That's why I'm not. I don't. I'm unapologetic when it comes to my lifestyle with automobile. I don't even apologize. It's who I am. I know what makes me happy. I know what ticks. Everybody have what different. So trying to explain to somebody why you are so why you are so much in love of a car or this particular side of passion, as aspect of life, why you find yourself difficult to move away from it. To me, that's stupidity. If you really want to try to explain to people so that they will understand, it makes no sense. Because they have theirs too, and it didn't need to explain to you. Some actually, okay. I know I'm deviating, but I'm just trying to explain. You can learn it on your own. There are so many. I have so many books. That time, I started learning modern Peugeot electrical system. I will have so many material books. Some of my friends in US and Europe, what's it called? Australia, they send me different kind of workshop manuals, electrical workshop, specifically on Peugeot, electrical workshop manual, this, that, all different models of Peugeot. They are this thing. There's one book, one of my friend too, the technician, Peugeot technician in Australia, very good friend. He sent me a book I got from, no, a book, he bought one book and then sent it to me. He is a Peugeot technician, so he works, last time we spoke, he was working with Citroen, the Citroen branch in that, we have Peugeot, then we have Citroen. That's the main PSA at that time. So the branch of Citroen in Australia was there, was working there. So one of the training books there, so he sent it to me. A very big book, electrical. Well, as in how you can actually study the wiring, what to check, what to do, check some components, to know, use multimeter to check to see. So I've studied all those things, but the thing is, I don't have them anymore. Even the ones I downloaded online, so many materials, discussions, so many things on how to do this, how to test this. So I read all of them for years. So at a point, I didn't need them anymore. The knowledge, the skill has been acquired. Of course, you keep improving, but those are the things I don't need to go back to. As in, it's there already in the brain, so I can I once say, put your hand on this thing, the knowledge starts pouring out. So at a point, I moved most of those, almost all of them. In fact, I'm not even sure I still have. Only very few that I'll say have with me. I moved them to the eastern part of Nigeria. I went and kept them there, so I don't have them anymore. So except the new ones, I'm still gathering. For example, I'm undergoing a training now on electric vehicles by myself. Learning it's actually a course, online course. So I'm learning it. I'm going through the training. So these things you can do on your own. But in my own case, I would say, it's not just the theory, because like I said, I have my own cars too. So as I'm doing those things, I'm also using my car too to practicalize them, and other people cars too. So as I'm learning theory, I'm also doing this thing. And then even while you are doing the repairs, you or diagnosis, you come across some challenges, some issues that you won't even find in any of those materials or books, or your colleagues, the technicians probably don't know or have never come across. So you have to figure it out how to, especially in Nigeria, that some of these issues were man-made. Is as in people actually created these problems. Not like the problem. The problem was meant to happen based on the car design. No, the project that produce these cars designed in such a way that this kind of problem is not supposed to come up. But because of the way we abuse cars, they do come up. So in that case, there are some issues, electrical issues. You go and plus scanner, or you bring book, try to see, read if you can find the cause of this electrical issue from the scanner or from the book. You will not, because of the kind of wire butchering, cut and join we do on our modern electrical control Peugeot vehicles. So in that case, it's experience that will now be able to guide and help you to figure out such issue, or the cause or the culprit. And then so that's it. I know I'm beating about the bush, but I'm just trying to give you, I don't have these materials anymore. There are few with me, but I can't, because they are in hard copies. So it's not like I'm going to start trouble myself. I won't give out such things. So if it were those ones I moved, I know I don't need anymore. Yeah, it makes sense. I can give them out, but just go online. I mean, it's also easier when you are like, practical is the most important thing. Honestly, it doesn't matter the book or material you are using. You have to practicalize it. So, after going to a training might help somebody that knows it, understand it well, will teach you. Then you within the theoretical part, and they also discuss. One of the things that helped me is I have right source. I have right source. What I mean right source, I means, you see this project thing, in Africa, modern, when it comes to modern or Nigeria, let me limit it here. We don't really have much experts on Peugeot. They are there here and there, but not that well trained like that. So what I mean expert, I'm talking about people are even beyond me, So I have them quite all scattered all over the world. As in, I mean personal contact, as in not like in group. No, I interact with them as in personal basis, not like one-on-one, but we interact via various means of communication, phone calls, messages, chats, all this and that. So we talk. Sometimes they seek, as I'm getting some of these things, when there are some issues I'll come across, I'll talk to them. They will give me a guide. Then there are also sometimes it's not even like I'm seeking an issue. We'll just be discussing. They will be pouring their knowledge in the discussion, and I'll be grabbing from there. Sometimes too, they also call and say, oh, this and this and this and this. How I remember you had so and so similar issue. How did you resolve it? And I'll be like, oh, look at you are. I expect you are more like the God when it comes to repairs, diagnosis and repairs on Peugeot. But so they get from me, I get from them. Sometimes there are some parts too. Peugeot vehicle parts. I will source it. They will send money, I'll buy it for them here, because they are, as funny as it will sound, they don't have it over in their places. I'll source it for them there and send it to them as no extra charge. Like I said, we are friends, so I'm not going to do it in terms of to make any money from me. So That's why I maintain that relationship. So that's the thing when it comes to this. I don't say, even up to now, I still don't know much. I mean, Peugeot are doing more newer cars, changing the system, improving on it. So it's changing. So those are the things you have to do. So I don't know. Just try your best. At least I'm giving you some tips. You can go online, go to YouTube. You learn so many things on YouTube. You don't need paper qualification. You can do it on your own. This YouTube is enough. Funny enough, I don't actually go to. It's only once in a while I start searching for some how to do things on YouTube when it comes to Peugeot and the rest, because they are not that much, Even when you see, they are not in English, because most European countries don't speak English. Some Asia and all that. So, but if you have that, I don't know if the talent is there. Because okay, it's more like talent. So if it's there, you can be able to understand even without understanding the language. As you're looking at the picture, you grab the information. It's there. You can grab it. So that's the point. Okay, so no need to waste much time on this. This from Everish Emeka Najike. So my engine eats oil a lot and I don't know what to do. I don't know. Go and find. I don't know. You didn't state your engine model also. Go on, because it's not depending on engine model. There are things that can cause oil consumption, excessive oil consumption. While other engines, some of the things that can cause it on this particular model may not cause it on this one. So it all depends on which engine model. All you need is just find a good knowledgeable Peugeot mechanic to diagnose and tell you what the cause of oil consumption is. It may not, when it comes to oil consumption, it depends on the tools, diagnostic tools that can help to make it reach conclusion much faster. Sometimes, you probably might not even know all, no matter the tools you have, but it could give you the idea. To narrow it down, you can now say, okay, among these three things, either the three of them are the cause or one of these three. Then what you now do, you rule things and you start ruling them out. For example, you could say, okay, it's not the external component on it that is causing oil burn or consumption. So it has to come from inside the engine. Now, if you have cylinder, what's it called? Cylinder, what's the name of this thing? Cylinder test, compression tester. If you have that compression tester, from there I can tell whether it's the rings or the valve stem cells. Yeah, but then you might say, okay, it could be this or that. Maybe the test will tell you, okay, it's the same. But it could also be that when you remove the cylinder, you now find out that the rings are bad as well. But it's just that it's not as bad as it says. So the one that will be more pronounced in the test will not be the valve stem cells. You see? Or you could do it will show, okay, it's from the cylinder, that's the rings, and okay, when you now open the engine, you now realize that even the pistons are gone. Not just the piston, the cylinder wall or the sleeve or the piston liners have also worn. So in that case, changing the rings makes no sense anymore. You can also change the engine. You see? So when it comes to oil consumption, it's not you can't just say, oh, it must be this. No. Most times, the best way until you pieces the engine, I always tell people that you won't really know the true condition of your engine until you pieces it. You start seeing everything. It's mechanical. So until you open up your cylinder head, remove your piston and rings, and you start seeing them. They probably may not need to remove the piston and rings to see if the cylinder wall is bad, worn out, or if the pistons are worn that badly, But you have to remove the cylinder head. The compression test, engine cylinder compression test can still guide you, but it's not that accurate like that. That's my point. So don't go around, oh, it's showing is your valve sensors. You remove the cylinder, you change the valve sensors, only to now see it's still burning oil, but not as much as we were doing before. It means, yeah, the pronounced one has been sorted, but the other one is still there, you know. So I hope you understand now. This from Abu Sofyan. He said, does it have any effect on... Okay, hold on. Okay, catalytic converter. A video I did, a post I did on catalytic converter. I think, so this Abu Sofyan is asking, does it have any effect on Peugeot 406 fuel consumption running EW10 engine? I was told that mine has probably been removed, but as you say, some of the ECU won't register it until sometime later. No, it's not necessarily sometime later. I've forgotten what I said on that post. But for 406, some of the ECUs were not programmed to work with how do I put it? Some of the ECU will not tell you, no matter what you do, if you remove your catalytic converter, it will not show that catalytic converter is bad or it has been removed. So in that case, it won't have much effect in terms of fuel consumption, because it was like designed, it does the system, the ECU can do without it. It's not programmed to work with it like that. It can do without it. Like the 406 with EW10 engine, W10J4 engine, that's the RFR version or injection system, RFR, you know. But there are some like EW10J4 406 produced by PAL. Yeah, if you remove the catalyst, it won't really... You know, another thing is, people sometimes when they say remove catalyst, if you just remove that thing inside, still leave the cylinder empty as that big, yeah, I'm not saying it will have effect, but it's much better you cut it out and put straight pipe, you know. But then, of course, the main reason they put it, because the pump production on the ECU don't care about the catalyst. You know, so but then the emission will fail. So in that case, against the law. If you go for inspection, your car will not pass. You won't be given certificate. It won't pass. So you need to put the catalyst. But for pan, this thing will do it or without it. But some foreign 406, yeah, if you remove it, yeah, you start showing the ECU might need to work with it. The thing is, fuel consumption might not really affect it that much. It all depends on some ECUs, you know. I've come across 406 V6 that was running with that catalytic converter. Both the Pre and the one under, you know, there are 4. So the 4 of them were not there yet. No blast smoke, nothing. But I also come across 406 that removed just the one in front. Boom! Blast soot everywhere. Of course, the blast smoke means excessive fuel consumption. It's everywhere. The same 406, but of course, the ECUs were different. Not the same ECU. Same engine, but different ECUs. You know, so that's what I'm saying. It all depends on the engine ECU. So the one that was not showing blast smoke means even if the fuel consumption increase, it will just be so significant. It will just a little, you know, as long as you're not bringing out blast smoke, it means it's not that much. So the ECU can run without it. If you scan it, it might show you there's no catalyst, but it's still really not affecting the combustion that much. But then there are some that without it, whoa. It messes up the entire thing. So that's what I'm saying. So it all depends. So it could be, I don't know, your own injection system or the ECU in your 406 or what engine is that and the rest. You know. So Hold on. I think there's a reply here. This from James Ghana. He said car will guzzle fuel and not run optimally without a catalytic converter. So yes, it does. It's not that must. It's not all cars that must run with catalytic converter. No. Let me give you an example. You know 505 V6. There are two versions. There's a version that runs with catalytic. They are as in from new. I'm not telling you from this. So there's a version that we are produced to work with catalytic converter. But in that case, it now reduce the power of the engine. That is 145 horsepower. With different ECUs, it has two ECUs, different ECUs for those ones that have that catalytic converter. Then there's a version, that's the one with high power, the one that have the version that doesn't work, that they were not programmed or not produced from new with catalytic converter. Those ones too have different engine ECU, different ECU. You know, they have two ECUs. We don't call them engine, it's just injection ECU and the ignition ECU. So different ECU from that of the 145. Now that one is 170 horsepower. For what I gather, even the engine, they look alike, but not necessarily identical inside. They say the camshafts are different. So the one with 170 horsepower will be able to produce excessive, will have more power than the one on 145. Yeah, it's same engine. You understand? So there are cars that actually don't put design to work without catalytic converter. Doesn't make the consume more fuel. It's the ECU. It all depends on how the person designed it, the manufacturer designed it. You understand? Okay, so okay, this is Abu Sophia. I said, thanks for your reply. I put a scanner on it and it has never shown any fault code regarding the catalytic converter. However, the last two fuel consumption readings that I got was 8 liters, 9 liters, both short and long distances combined. The second being the latest report shows an increase in the consumption. Should I be worried? Thanks. See, there are so many things that can cause high fuel consumption. I don't know why people are always looking at either it's catalyst or fault on this. It might not even be anything that has to do with engine. Your fuel pressure can cause high fuel consumption. If your fuel pressure drops, it can cause it. Your tires, if you change your tire, put one with rough teeth, or how do you call it, rough surface, it will increase fuel consumption. If you put a bigger tire that is not recommended for the car, it will increase fuel consumption. If we put heavier tire on the vehicle that is not recommended for that car, it will increase fuel consumption. If you put a bigger alloy rim that is have higher weight than the one that was recommended for the car, it will increase fuel consumption. If your one of your brake is binding and you probably are not aware that it's binding a brake, you have a brake binding issue, it will increase fuel consumption. If you tamper with your engine cooling system, abuse it, and it's not working as designed, it will increase fuel consumption. I could go on and on. There's so many things that can increase your fuel consumption, that have nothing to do with the engine or your ECU. It will even show you any fault on the scanner. And there are also some things that can fail and you still that works with the engine, electronic components, and it still will not show you on the scanner. But with experience, you will suspect that you rule that one out to be sure. So people always, I don't know, it's always everybody's fuel consumption, this catalyst. It mustn't be catalyst. It could be, but it must not. Your driving style could do that. If this week you are driving gently, you are not pushing the RPM that high, the same distance, then the upper week, the same distance from one pole to another, you are pushing the throttle almost to the floor to cover the same distance you were driving gently last week. It will increase fuel consumption. You see, some of these things, even gearbox, I've even realized automatic gearbox will increase. If your automatic gearbox sometimes start having issues and start dragging the car, it will increase fuel consumption. If your car, I go on and on. So I want people to understand Now, fuel consumption is not just dependent on the engine or your injection system. So many things that can that determines the fuel consumption of a vehicle. If today you drive the car to 400 kilometers with your boot empty and you are the only one inside the car, the boot has nothing inside the boot, and the next day you now do the same distance, the same way of acceleration, but your boot is fully loaded, your fuel consumption will increase the next day, because the weight you added on the car will increase fuel consumption than when it was lighter. If you carry 2 passengers today and the same distance, the next day you carry 4 passengers in the car, same distance, same way of driving, first consumption will increase. You've added load. You drive a car without AC today, tomorrow you drive with AC, fuel consumption will not be the same. It will consume more with the AC. So those are the things people really need to know. I don't know people. So understand that. So it's not just about because it's car, you didn't see this thing, you now assume something is wrong. You start checking some other factors. Nigerians do that a lot when it comes to tires. That is, especially tires. People just buy, your engine is small, it doesn't have much power. You go and buy one big, heavy tire with a big alloy rim that is meant for engine that is much bigger or more powerful than the one in your car. And you expect the fuel consumption to be the same. This will not. Okay, so I hope this have cleared everything. Okay. This Lawal say, is it what they call Indomie? Yes. Yeah, that's what they call Indomie in Nigeria. This from Oluchola Peters. He said, do you have for sale? Okay, this post I made concerning liquid moly top tech 1200. There was a time I was selling it, but I think that was before I even made this post. I used to sell that oil, so I don't have it anymore for sale. He said, do you have for sale? I'm super interested. I need to change the rubbish window that mine was serviced with. I always want people very careful with all these things. People use different kinds of ATF in their Peugeot automatic gearboxes. So I'm not a specialist or an expert on automatic gearbox. So that's why I just so if you're not an expert, you can't be able to say authoritatively, this ATF, even though it's not recommended, will serve. You see, so that's why I say, don't go and say what you don't know. Can't be good in everything. So this is what to follow Peugeot recommendation based on the ones at least I know. I've gotten feedback that they use this recommended one and it worked. I just stick to it. I tell people this is what I know. But I also know that so many people, even outside Nigeria, Europe, Australia, and the world, they use other kinds of ATF, not even the recommended. And some even put additive, especially AL4. They put some additive with other oil, and they claim they work. But it's just that those oil, they don't even sell them here. They don't sell such ATF here. Some other people, they use other type of ATF here, which some I don't even want to mention the name because they are not recommended. But according to the technicians or mechanics that are using it, they claim it works for their customers. So who am I to tell them? I don't know better than they do for their others. So all I know is, if it was my car, I will not put it. If a client or someone gives me my car a car to change the ATF for him, I will not use that one. I will use the recommended one. If the person now insists, I will go and do it. So that's how it is. So I know people always want me to tell them, this, or can I use this? I cannot. Like I said, I can only tell you authoritatively where I know I'm good at. I can say that. If not, I'll tell you, use what manufacturer said. Manufacturer could also be wrong. Don't get me wrong. or at least the one they recommended at that time is no longer available, so you have to look for another good alternative. Most of the ATF I recommend now for Peugeot car, it's not like it's even the OEM, but it's just they are good alternative to the OEM. So that's why I recommend them. So that's the thing. Okay, same person. This from Wade Stallion. He said, "Good afternoon, Lion King. I'm in Lagos and I need someone who can diagnose my." Okay, I've talked about this thing. I've done videos where I don't know. Maybe I posted or not posted. No, I won't. Don't bother asking me this kind of question on the to post someone's number online. I will not do it. Unless if these people, if they are watching, these experts that I know in Lagos or any other part, then let me know. Contact me and say, hey, if anybody is interested, please share my number to them online on YouTube or whatever. They indicate the number you want. I understand, you need someone that can, you are in need, but like I said, online, I can't do that. So there are things you take for granted, and it became a legal case, and you put yourself in trouble for trying to help somebody, but the person will not understand. The person will feel you are being wicked. You can't just put somebody's phone number online when he didn't give you that permission. If I remember and talk to them and they say, fine, I'll go ahead, I'll start doing that. This from, okay, this how to. You say, Ikenna, I've been following you. God bless you for taking care of this classic. Okay, I think it was maybe a post I did. Okay, yeah, a post I did on my 505 V6. That was 10 months ago. This is from Damian Leon. It's a beautiful car. Oh, that's my Z9. This is same guy. Say beautiful on my. Okay. Oh, there was one Z9 I advertised for sale. One Z9 V6 was in Lagos at that time. This is Donna Ebele. So is it not the lead wire from brain box analogy to the ignition coil you mean? That's the configuration if we are using the 2.0 liter 505 engine, often with double chamber carburetor. Where is the ECU from? Well, hold on. I think let me read it before I can respond to this. I need to know what the he said. This is a comment on my post on my 505. I said, so about 2 kilometers into the drive this afternoon, the 505 started to rough idle. Hold on, let me read that post to be able to understand your question. I think there's one I screenshot. It should be that one recently. Hold on. Should be among this ones. Yeah, this is the one because can see it was 11 months ago. So about this is me speaking. It says, so about 2 kilometers into the drive this afternoon, the 505 started to rough idle and later led to stalling and hard start. RPM indicator kept jumping up and down at idle, stalling when he wanted to and would refuse to start no matter how many times I cranked until he felt sorry for me and started. From the way he was stalling and starting, he was pointing at ignition issue and ignition issue, not injection. Meanwhile, those who don't know, I call my cars he, not she. I know a lot of people do that. Some people call their cars it or she. Me, I call my cars. The kind of cars I drive are masculine, so I don't call them she. Or I regard them as he. Okay, you can call yours whatever you want. So so I said, from the way he was stalling and her starting, he was pointing at ignition issue, not injection. I knew the diagnosis would require patience and focus, which I didn't have at the time. So I followed my path of risk resistance, crawled the car back home, jumped into another, and went for my business. Got back home this evening, jumped back into the 505, started the full diagnosis with my digital multimeter with full attention. About an hour later, I found the culprit. It was the male and female wiring connectors that connect the injection ECU with the ignition ECU. So, after about 4 decades of age, I would expect these connectors to start packing up. So I fixed the issue, cranked the engine, and the Ryan roared back immediately. No more hard start, and the RPM was stable at idle back again. Okay, I think I understand what the comment here. This post. There was a time my 505 was having issue. I started to misbehave. The one it was running was just not just necessarily rough idle self. It was just so, which shows it was something has to do with ignition, not injection. So I returned the letter that evening, and I checked, and I saw there's a connector, a wiring connector. You know, they are called male and female. That join. Remember I mentioned the 505 V6. My own version is the one without what's it called? Catalytic converter. That's the 170 HP version. So there's a connector that joins the two ECUs that control the engine. It has two ECU. One is injection ECU, one is ignition ECU. So it was that connector that had problems. So eventually, I'm trying to remember what I did. Did I change those connectors? So I sorted that problem, and then the engine started running well again. So that was what happened. Remember this 505 V6. So let's see. Let's go back here. Okay, so I'll read it again. It says, is it not the lead wire from brain bus analogy? That's what you call brain bus. I think is referring to ignition module. To the ignition core, you mean? That's the configuration if you are using 2.0 liter 505 engine, often with double chamber carburetor. Where is the ECU for? I don't know what you see. What's that his name? Don't. Sometimes you don't pay attention, and sometimes you always try to correct somebody that knows what he's talking about, and most times know better than you do. I've observed that on some of your comments. I'll say something, you jump out, you want to try to correct me when you don't even know what you're even saying. The car, look at the way I say engine and injection ECU. For me to say two ECUs, it means I know what I'm saying. It means that the engine is not what you are referring to. Read the post well. Read it well before you start correcting somebody. I mean, because it's like a contradiction to the whole thing. I talked about V6. Even though did I mention? Okay, I didn't say the engine model, but if you are, if you pay attention to the post, you realize that everything was electrical. I refer to two ECUs that controls the engine. So that will give you an idea that, this is not carburetor engine. Or maybe you don't know much about any other 505 with maybe we are thinking that 505 only have carburetor engine. That's the thing. So even this one said we are wrong too as well. Because he said that's the configuration if you are using 2.0 liter 505 engine. No, you are wrong. It's not all 2.0 liter engine that have that ignition module. that in other words, that have this magneto distributor. There are 2.0, that's SN1. There's 505 with SN1 engine, 2.0 liter as well, with double barrel carburetor as well. However, the distributor is the normal distributor with a condenser contact. So it doesn't have that magneto, it doesn't have that ignition module. So it's just from, what's it called? From ignition coil, there's a positive lead wire straight to distributor. So why that of the ignition mode, the SN1A has the, what's it called? Magneto distributor. I mean, if you see, my advice to you, cool down and learn. I'm not saying I know everything, but when you come to my channel, before you rush out trying to correct me, pay attention first to be sure you even understand what you are trying to correct. It's for your own good though. At least now you've learned it. 505 have various engines, both diesel, turbocharger, petrol, SN6 engines, ZDJL engine, S2. All these engines I'm mentioning, they are not carburetor engines. They are not carburetor. They are all electrically controlled. Their engines are controlled electrically. So they have ECUs, they have more wiring connections than the carburetor engine, the 505 carburetor engine. So when I say they have 2 ECUs, you should be able to understand that. At least now you learned it. And also, I believe you also learned that it's not, even the ones 505 carburetor, 2.0 carburetor engines, it's not all of them that have this one, that you call brain box analogy. No, you call it, it's an ignition module, that's the name. Ignition module. So, there are some that don't have it. It all depends on the type of distributor on the engine. SN1 did not have it. The one that have it was SN1A. However, you can convert it and put it on SN1 engine. You can take that magneto distributor, put it on SN1 engine, and then run that wiring connection with ignition module. Same way, you can also do the normal, even though it won't be that. Yeah, you can still do it on SN1 engine. You can put the normal distributor on it without ignition module, the one that comes with condenser. But it won't make more sense because the other one will make the engine more powerful. The magneto distributor. I mean, that I use modern cars doesn't mean that I have no experience. My experience or my knowledge on older Peugeot cars is gone. Things are, when I started working on these cars, I was early as in the, I started driving, was it not 1985 or 1984? All these cars, 504, GL, this one, that one, and the non-Peugeot brand at that time. As a man, I was working on them. So nothing you can tell me about all this car, 504, 505, I don't know. At least the basic, even beyond basic, because as somebody who is doing the repairs means you have gone beyond basic. So yeah, there are things I leave it for the mechanics to handle. That requires strenuous mechanical work. Tools to remove the engine, all those things. I don't do those things. I let them handle it. At least I understand, I know some of these things. It's just that they are the ones, they are more experienced on that. They have that knowledge. So why do that? Because of you don't want to spend how much? Okay. Ayodele Shooks. I like your passion for your job and love for Peugeot vehicles. It's infectious. Well, yeah, thank you. People say that. That's who I am. I don't hide it. Even though some people are jealous of that. I mean, can go on and on. People try to talk me down, say certain things. Why am I doing Peugeot? Why I do this? I don't know what I'm saying. Who cares? I just keep doing what I'm doing. So, okay. Itolo and your folk. instance, my timing belt cuts 1 week after changing it. Could adjuster be problem? It could be anything. Yeah, it could be the adjuster is what timing tensioner anyway. So it could be the timing tensioner. It could be the roller. It could be you put a wrong belt self. Or it could be you didn't do it well. It could be water pump. Water pump hardly cause timing belt, but it's more obvious because it will be wobbling if it's that bad. It hardly be water, so it could be anything. I don't know. Like I said, normally I always advise people when you are changing timing belts, even if you don't have money to buy the complete timing kit, check the other components that work with the belt before you put that new belt. If any of them is bad or weak or about to fail, they are mechanical, you can easily tell. So if you show sign of this thing, remove them, get another one and put. Even if you are not buying the complete kit, at least you look for the one that is bad among them. Even if it's not, you can't find good new one. Yeah, will be a good used one, better than that one. Get it and put. That you change only the belt, is knowing that the other ones might be bad. It will weaken the belt and it will cut. It could also be that it was a wrong belt or it wasn't properly set. I don't know. Child. It's person that put it. It's when you check that you know what really happened. Or it could be poor quality belt. People prefer low quality belts, and yeah, it could disappoint you. This Emeka Uwago, please, I would like to speak with you. I'm trying to. This is a long time ago. Sam Itolo Annual Folk. Thanks, what is the name of the original Peugeot 307 timing belts? There are so many of them, so many brands. You have Deco, you have Gates, Gates. You have Bosch, you have Continental, you have they are quite a number. So it all depends. So the most important thing is make sure it's that brand, that is the genuine. That if it's that Deco, make sure it's the genuine Deco, because there are so many brands now. Even Gates, there are so many fake in the market. So it all depends on the one you are buying. So it's not just about the brand now. Brand matter, yes, but you might go buy used brand and you go and buy fake that brand. You thought you are getting the original one. So please, what is the okay? This Chiduche, please point me to the preventive maintenance video for Peugeot 307. There are so many of them on my YouTube channel. Just go through them. Fabian, that one. So, which spark plug do you recommend? Wow, these days I don't even. I say there are so many fake plugs now in the market. So personally, I just go for aftermarket. There's one that I think in Nigeria that I bought. Okay, I won't say I bought. Somebody purchased. How do I put it? I have somebody to buy. Not that I was the one that necessarily made the purchase. So the person I've used it so far, no issue. So I try to avoid. If you go to open market except for 307, which spark plug? Okay, depending on which engine anyway. But honestly, the spark plugs in the market now, I don't trust it. So the ones that are in OEM packets anymore, I don't. That's just the truth. So I would rather go for. Well, let me now say, depending on engine model, there's a particular one I'm considering. Maybe I'll be advising the clients to be using for now. It's aftermarket. It's not like high quality one, but so far it appears to work compared to the so-called OEM they sell in open market now. That if not all, well, I think most of them, the way they behave when you put them on the vehicle, tell you it's not just fake, but very bad. So I'm not going to mention the brand now until I'm very, very convinced that that brand are because that's thing I might even mention it here now. The next day now, the fake one will fill the market. People will now feel, oh, but I recommended it, yet it's bad. So it's not just about the brand anymore, sir, to be honest. It's about who the source, who is selling the good one of that brand. Because OEM is still good, but it's just that what you see in the market are fake OEM. So that's the point. So it's not about the brand anymore. It's about the quality of what's inside that pack, irrespective of the brand on the pack. Um, so I said avoid this spark plug in your Peugeot engine, especially the EW engine. Which plug was that? I don't know. Go to that post. You see, I think probably there's a picture there or something. I don't even remember. Humphrey Irusota, good day, Mr. Ikenna. Please, my Peugeot 407 boot doesn't open anymore, whether I use the remote or the O button, even though the doors still work with remote. I don't know. Yeah, it has to be checked to know what the problem is. I don't know what could be the cause. Hold on. I don't know what the issue might be. It could be because this one is saying both the remote and this one and the zero button have stopped working. It could be that your remote has failed, but two of them, it depends. If two of them fail, stop working at the same time, then I would say probably it's not the remote. But if one stop working before the other stop working as well, it means maybe both of them has failed. In other words, the remote part has failed, and then the button on the boot probably also have failed, or the wiring connection from the boot. I explain this thing. As an issue, 407 do, depending on which 407. Station wagon. I don't know if station wagon do have that problem. But I know Saloon Cook, they do have that problem. There's a wiring harness that comes from inside the boot. Comes from under, entered on top, inside, and sometimes as you are opening and closing the boot, one or two wires might break. So you need to check if any wire breaks, you replace that one and start working again. It could also be the button. The button do fail as well. So see, it has to be diagnosed to know what the problem is. I don't know. Can't tell from here. Because even the 407, yeah, you can deactivate opening the boot from your radio, but then your remote should work. So that's why as it is now, it's better diagnosed than making guesswork. This from Charlie T. Hello, from England. Really appreciate your in-depth knowledge on Peugeot engines. Really helpful. Thank you. Yeah, thanks as well. From Joseph Ephraim, very informative. 406 with EW10J4 manual review. This from Elina Yo Abola. How much can I get it? 406 at that time. Okay, it was 11 months ago. You're asking the question. I don't know. 406 now. Tokumbo now. I don't think you can still get any sound one less than 5 million naira. It's 406 alone. It will be very hard, especially the factory left-hand drive with custom duty. It will be very hard to get one less than 5 million naira with that engine and the gearbox. It's possible. It is possible. I'm just telling you based on an average. You're looking at 5 million and above, around that range. Nigerian use, all depends on the grade. So you can get 500,000. You buy 12, you deal with it. So you can get 1 point, some 2 points. So it all depends on the condition of the car. This one, Juve. What's the right oil for Peugeot cars? Okay, see, let me stop here. Maybe next time I will discuss, because this one will take long. There are so many things to talk about when it comes to engine oil. Okay, so like I said earlier, I'm going to post a link to my second channel for if you want to be watching my non-Peugeot content, things that have nothing to do with Peugeot. You know, you want to know my opinion on that as well. Yeah, you can. So I'll post a link of maybe one of the videos that I've published on that channel, so that I can go there and subscribe. I'll be following so that I know when next I post any video there. So if you're also interested in my response, you can post here so that I can always, whenever I have time, I think maybe once or twice a week, I'll come here and respond. Okay, so that's it.